Hey guys, RageCage20 here, coming at you with Dark Souls again. I know I already did a play through of this game, but I wanted to make another video, kind of a beginner's friendly guide to Dark Souls. I know Dark Souls, if we can see down here, yeah, came out like 5 to 6 years ago. I know it's pretty old, and a lot of people either know how to play Dark Souls or have given up on ever trying to play Dark Souls. It seems kind of pointless to make a beginner's guide at this point, but the reason I am is because I know some people out there who have either like tried Dark Souls and said, fuck it, it's too hard, I quit. There's people who probably are afraid to play Dark Souls because they think it's going to be too hard. Or there's people who want to learn how to hone up on certain skills like dodging and parrying and stuff like that. And I kind of wanted to make a beginner's guide for those people. If you know Dark Souls very well, you probably won't be interested in this at all. So we're going to go through it here real fast. Spend a little bit of time. This is going to be a small, like 19-part series, maybe a little bit less, depending on if I mash some stuff together. There's going to be some really short videos. There's going to be some longer videos. It's just kind of going to be running through small sections of the game and how to take it in different sections. If you want to just skip ahead of all this beginning stuff, all these tips and stuff for beginners, I'll put in the description right now. It'll be right now. You can skip to where the game actually starts. So the game truly begins for most people when you start character creation, because what I like to do is I base my character purely off of what weapon do I want to go. And a good way to do that is to go to Google, type in Dark Souls Wiki, and the first website you'll see is called Life. Click on that. It's a great source. Click on the part that says Equipment and Magic. You can run through all the weapons, see exactly how strong all of them are, kind of compare them to each other's damage. And then they'll have scaling on strength and dexterity. We'll get into that a little bit here as we go. So choose your weapon you want and kind of build a character off of that. Or if you don't, if all that's way too fucking confusing and complicated for you, say fuck all that, and I'm just going to go with what I like and use what I'm going to give you after that. So name is unimportant. Pretty sure that's wrong. Not really, but we're going to name it for now because name is not going to be relevant. Let's go female because I like female. So for class, here's something I don't recommend for beginners. I do not recommend thief, sorcerer, or pyromancer, or deprived for beginners. Deprived is pretty good, but you're going to have no armor, so you better know how to roll. Cleric's fine because good healing and all whatnot. But pyromancer I don't recommend because it's like a sorcerer, but I mean it's easier to play than a sorcerer. However, pyromancy costs around 500,000 plus souls to fully upgrade your pyromancy and buy all the pyromancy abilities. So that's a little advanced for beginners. Sorcerer is just really squishy. You gotta know how to work through sorceries. I don't recommend it. And thief, unless you plan on not using that dagger, then sure, go ahead and go thief. But for beginners, the dagger only really does damage if you're parrying, backstabbing, or attacking from above. That's when it really shines through, and if you don't plan on doing those but you still want the dagger, it's probably going to be really hard. Every other class is perfectly fine. We're going to go for the bandits because I looked up extra life. I want to go for the butcher knife, and it's an axe. Starting out with an axe is a good way to go, and that's all I'm purely basing it off. It has good strength, you know, decent health and whatnot. It's level 4. We're going to go straight up with that. I highly recommend the Master Key for every beginning player because the rest of this is really not necessarily not needed for anything, really. But the Master Key, unless you start with a thief, Master Key just helps you get through harder parts of the game and make it look like a joke. So I highly recommend that. Physique doesn't matter at all, so we're going to go average. Face doesn't really matter at all. So just pick whatever one is more fun for you. God, that noise is fucking... you up here in my backyard, bitch? Fuck you. Give me a second here. Alright, sorry about that. For some reason, my apartment complex is deciding to pressure wash everything. So sorry if you can hear that weird noise in the background. Anyways, so to finish up the character creation screen here, the rest of everything is up to you. Just my recommendation of class and gift. Gift definitely master key. Another thing about class, you want to think about what kind of style you want to build, but we'll get more into that as the game progresses. Again, sorry if you can hear anything in the background. I don't think you can, but it annoys me. So we're going to skip the cutscenes here. If you want to watch the cutscenes, play the game yourself, or watch my other two playthroughs of this game. So right out the gate, one thing I recommend doing is two-handing this weapon. You push Y, or whatever, if you're using the mouse and keyboard, good luck for you. You push Y for Xbox controller. I'm sure it's the top button on PlayStation. I don't know what you're playing this on. Anywho, for this part of the game, I recommend reading all these. These are left by the creators, and it will teach you how to do everything in the game. Strong attack, right trigger, back regular attack, right bumper, and right stick controls camera. So yeah, like I was mentioning, you gotta decide what kind of build you want to go for. In my opinion, there's kind of 3 different styles that you can play. Again, push the right trigger to lock on to someone. You can either build a roll dodge kind of build, where you just fast roll to not get hit by anyone's attacks. You can build a heavy armor, high pose kind of set, which means you just put on the heaviest armor you can find and take absolutely no damage and never get deflected from your attacks even when you're getting hit, which usually is what I recommend for beginning players. Just build heavy to medium armor, get a shield, and just take everything like a champ. Or you can do parry kind of builds, which I don't recommend for anyone who doesn't either want to challenge or isn't very experienced. So we'll discuss that a little bit here, but we won't worry about it now. Don't worry about that guy. One of the messages out there just says run, so just run through that door and you'll be just fine. Don't try to take him with with this broken sword. It's possible, but it'll take you forever. So now we gotta get our shield, which usually I don't use shields anymore, but I will for this example. I believe this here, yeah, tells you push the start button to open up your options. With the left shield equipped, you will guard if you push the left bumper. So let's go down here to our left hand and equip that shield. And as it mentions, when you put up your shield, you're shielding, it will use your stamina, of course. But you notice we can dodge certain attacks. Now we could attack this guy, but we're not going to do any damage. So now it wants us to equip our battle axe and our main hand, and you'll get whatever weapon you started with. Yes, you can change weapons, toggle items, put that away, put it out, change to a different weapon. As if you quit, you can equip multiple weapons in your hands and switch between them if you so choose. I usually don't, because that's extra weight that you're holding, but it's definitely up to you. So now you can see we're starting to roll much slower because the battle axe is actually pretty heavy, which is fine for right now. We'll just use normal attacks until it teaches us about backstabs. I don't think it's taught us about backstabs yet. Let's go through this white light. We're almost done with the Asylum here. Here's how to back. If you just push B once, you will dodge backwards, which can be helpful to dodge stuff. I think yeah. Plus that, if you move while you push B, you will roll. If you don't move, you'll just jump backwards. Rolling is going to be very helpful here. If you can see, there's a big rock up there. Usually people are supposed to get hit by this rock. I like to move to the side. If you come down here, you can open this door to get back to the bonfire if you need it. I do not need it. So go over here, talk to this guy. He will give you your Estus Flask, which is your health potions for this game. You definitely need Estus Flask. They will be your best friend in this game. Rest at bonfire will replenish all your Estus flasks. One thing I failed to mention, that I'll mention now, if any of these tips you would like to see kind of in fast pace without them being described to you, I will be putting my live stream I recently did with my buff Caveman Leon in this playlist so you can watch as you learn. So to do a backstab, you literally gotta be facing, oop, I didn't do it correctly. You gotta be facing a person's back and kind of walk. I feel like walking into them is better, but you gotta be right behind their back and kind of move into them to actually backstab them. Now, what I like to do, because I don't usually use shields, is to equip it in both hands, because this makes it do more damage. I'm actually at this point going to unequip my shield so I can have faster rolls for the boss. If you push forward with the left stick and your attack button at the same time, literally hit them both at the same time, you will do a kick, which I'll show you what that does here soon. And if you do that with the left trigger, which is your power attack, you will do a jumping attack. Oop, but you got hit it at the exact right time, like that. So now we're going to equip both of these, and I'm going to try to backstab this guy here. Get his attention. You got to get behind them and kind of move into them, which is a very good way of dealing with enemies. So you can just see, you can safely circle him from afar, walk into his back, and you would do tons of damage, killing most enemies in one hit. So this person's an archer. If you don't have a shield, you can either try to dodge or run up behind them. Either way works. Alright, for this next one we're going to demonstrate, as you see, behind an enemy for a critical hit, you backstab them. Parry, which we will talk about afterwards, but if you parry somebody, which you can see with my hand here, trying to block their attacks, then you can go in and do massive damage, which is usually what you do with either shields or not. So I'm going to demonstrate to you about kicking. When this person has a shield up, whenever he decides to have a shield up, kicking can be very useful with these people with shields. That usually blocking your attacks. Hopefully I can get him to get his shield up so I can demonstrate. So when his shield's up, you can see it doesn't do as much damage, and usually he just blocks your attack altogether. But if you kick him, you will stop him from using a shield, and you can go in and kick his ass. So now we're going to demonstrate dodging attacks, and I might die during this demonstration, which is fine. The next thing it's going to teach you, I believe here, wall following. If you use the attack button, will be a plunging attack. Always for this boss, use double hand plunging attack. It does more damage. It takes more health right out the gate. Do not stand up here for long because this demon will come after you. So attack while you're falling. Bam, half his health already gone. The hard part of this fight down. I'm going to get some space in between this guy so I can talk about what I'm going to show you here. So here's one thing that I always had a hard time with rolling. That's going to make Dark Souls a hell of a lot easier for all of you who are struggling. Big thing about rolling. I figure, because in most games they give you a roll option, if you roll, you're invulnerable, right? You dodge whatever attack comes at you. That's usually how every game goes. Or in Dark Souls, that's not the fucking case. That's not how it works. And the sooner you figure that out, the easier this game is going to become for you. So what you don't want to do, which is I'm going to demonstrate and probably get hit here, what you don't want to do is once you see him go for an attack, once you see him begin the animation of the attack, don't roll then. Come on, get up. Oh, I'm stuck. That's not when you want to roll, because then you're probably going to get hit, and I'm going to show that to you here real fast. So right when he starts to attack, if you dodge then, he can usually follow you through. Faster enemies especially will follow you through. As you see, I still got hit there even though I rolled. That's because I rolled when I saw him start to swing. And that's the mistake a lot of people make. You gotta roll the second you see the animation for him to go to attack. The second they start to follow through with the attack, that's when you dodge. Which I'll try to demonstrate here. So he started the animation, just started swinging, that's when you dodge. You dodge right in the middle of their swing, that's when you dodge them. And dodge. which I didn't dodge in time, but you gotta dodge the second you see them get into the animation of attacking. That's how you dodge stuff. And dodge. Right there. Right when he starts to attack, dodge. That's how you dodge people in Dark Souls. Don't dodge when they start to swing. Dodge once they swing. That's how it goes. And that's going to take some practice. And I'll show you where you should practice that here in a second. So another thing, before we finish this guy off, is not getting greedy. There's some bosses when you know how they are that you can just start to go to town on damage on them. A lot of them, like, okay, I dodged one attack, let's get 1 or 2 attacks in and then dodge again. You know, then prepare for the second dodge. Don't try to like, oh, I'm just gonna give them everything I got. That will work on some bosses that will get you fucking killed. That will straight up get you killed. Alright, so that ends up this first section here. And now we're going to go to the bonfire. So we've kind of covered picking a class. By the way, down here, there's an item that will give you 200 souls. Souls is how you level up in this game, so not a bad idea to grab it. I'm not going to right now. If you want to watch what all these items are, watch my stream. Or what they do and whatnot, but for now I don't need it because it's not going to be that difficult, but I highly recommend it. So yeah, we learned how picking a class based on what weapon you want, maybe what armor you want, roles, which classes to pick, which classes not to pick, the type of classes between dodge, heavy, and parrying, and kind of how to get through the first part, how to successfully dodge somebody, as well as how to beat the Asylum demon. The next part here, we're going to cover the next part that usually gives people trouble and where you die a lot between this point to the next boss, and how to tackle the next boss in 2 different ways. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you in the next part.